Okay, so I'm inside the X3, BMW X3 2007. We got the service engine zoom light. So it runs smooth. I scanned it, P0306, that cylinder 6 misfire. And every time I come to stop, you hear a thump, boom, once or maybe twice. Like something is it's pretty much just a misfire. It's very rare, not a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change ignition coils on number 6, and we're gonna change the spark plug. So let's get to it. Okay, so to change the plugs and the coils, we're gonna have to take off this cover, but this cover is not gonna come off, and we're not gonna have access. So number 6 cylinder is all there at the end, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with removing this little guy right here. Let's see if this fits on it. Oh, so small, so tiny. What the hell? Anyways, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this. We're gonna take off this little guy. They're just little clips here, so make sure you don't drop them in there, and this thing will come out. Let's put it somewhere safe. Same thing with the other one. These two little guys will come off just like that, and same thing with this little guy. Let's try to bring it out more. Let's try to grab the back end. So if you do it right, you should be able to take them out together like that. After that, your harness here, everything's gonna be loose, so be careful. That's fine. Even if you don't want to remove that, that's fine, because you should be able to get this cover out. But what we really need to take off is, let's take off this weather strip here. Let's take off this weather strip here. Even if you want to leave it together, you can leave it together. In here you have filled cabin filter, if you ever want to change that little guy. So turn this little guy, which is already loose, turn this little guy, and once you have this turned out, you can remove this little guy. And right down here you have you see the Torx. There's Torx 1, 2, 3, 4. One is missing, so it's only 3, and this cover should just lift up. Oh, we got ourselves a Torque here. This is, what the hell is this, 27 T27. So let's lift this up. While this is up, we should be able to reach. I'm gonna have to get an extension for this. Okay, so once this is up, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna reach in there. 1, 2, and there should be one over here. It's broken, so it's missing. On the other side, I might not be able to hold the camera, but just get that third one over here, and the whole thing should come off. Once you get them all off, you should be able to grab this little guy, and this whole thing should be able to just come out just like that from both sides. So it does like go tucks in, so make sure you get it back in the same spot. And it's gonna have all this crazy debris on it, so we'll clean that up. And once you do that, we're gonna remove 1, 2, and 1 all the way back there. And after that, this cover should lift. So now we got Allen key number 5. Let's reach back here first. That's one of it. 2, 3. Okay, that's 1. This is 2. You want to put these to the side because you don't want nothing dropping inside the engine block. So make sure nothing is just sitting around. Okay, so remember we took these off, so if you don't want to take them off, like we're not really working with them. And once this is all out of the way, we should be able to get this guy off. And this might bother us a bit over here, but eventually it will come down and it will come out, and then we should be able to access all of our spark plugs and bolts from right here. Okay, so we got one bad news. The customer said they don't want to change the spark plug, so what we're gonna do here is we're still gonna try to change the last one. So to take out this ignition coil, the 6 is the last one over there, but you want to lift this guy up just like that, and you see how the connector comes out very easy. It comes out really easy, so you do that. And then after that, these coils are going to be hard. You don't want to break them, and you don't want to turn them either, so you're going to have to yank them up really hard. And It is kind of, it's hot. So to take off these coils, let's let it cool off a bit. Okay, so before we go any further, I want to say cylinder 1 is here, cylinder 2 is here, 3 is here, 4 is right behind back here, 5 and 6 is the last one. Okay, so you already seen how I took off this connector. To pull out this coil, you have to pull out it really hard. You can't grab it right here. Also grab it with one hand here, and with the other hand use your fork and just lift it up just like that, and it should just come up. Usually this rubber here grips it really well, but these things come out pretty fairly and easily. So the customer said no to the spark plugs, but what can we do? We had to go. I already had the pieces and everything. I had the spark plugs, so the Bosch is what I was using. That's what I was gonna put in, but what can we do there? It's up to the customer. So if you have oil in there, oil submerged in this ignition coil, that means your gasket is no good. But let's see how our last ignition coil looks. So what you want to do here is make sure you want to have this thing sitting flush over here. It's sitting into this triangle here. So you take your connector, you put this connector in, and then once you push it in, this thing, oops, these things will fall apart. So all you have to do is go get these back into the little grooves. So we're gonna just give it a little bit gentle help, and this thing should take in weak, really weak. Okay, so this thing should suck in the connector here. Okay, that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, but these things are really weak, so this is no good. Okay, not liking that. I do not like this mechanism. Okay, you see how they're supposed to take it in, but it's not accepting it. Okay, it's not accepting. It's too weak. This thing is too weak. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, so somebody changed this coil. You see the difference in this coil? So this is a cheap coil. Okay, that's what this is. Anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the last one. Let's see how this baby feels about it. So same thing. Oh, it's still really hot. Same thing. We're gonna lift this guy up. Let me get my camera in there. We're gonna lift this guy up fairly and easily, and the connector should come out. There you go. So that's number 6. I still gotta get the first one back in, but I'm gonna wait on it till I should be able to do it with both hands. So there you go. This guy is gonna come out just like that. Cylinder number 6 ignition coil. There you go. It shouldn't be hard at all, and this thing should just come out. Okay, limited space in here, but there you go. This coil doesn't look so good. I don't see any oil on it, but it's gotta go. The boot is done and shot. You see it's white over here. That's a sign that this was clearly misfiring. So there it is. Here's the ignition coil. Bosch is what we're using. Let's see if it has a part number. Okay, there's no number on this guy. Oh, there it is. Here it is. There's the numbers. Okay, so look at the difference between this cheap coil here and this guy. This is original stuff here, okay? And I couldn't even close this connector because it was so cheap. The thing was just opening up on its own. So I had to grab it, squeeze it between, and push it down. Anyways, let's take this coil. Number 6 cylinder. Let's align it. And I want to check to see if there's any oil in there. So camera's not going to see, so you just want to look in there to see if there's any oil in there. If there's oil in there, then you need a new valve cover. Okay, so the bore is clean. There's no oil. What we're going to do is take our new coil. You want to stick this guy in. And you want to stick it all the way down. So I can't put my hand on the top because the camera's there. So I'm going to push this guy really hard so it sits nice and flush. There you go. Then you take your connector, you stick this baby in, and look at the difference. Look at that. You see how that thing clamped it in? And this guy could not clamp it in because this plastic is so weak. Look at this. Okay, so that's it. We're done. Put everything back together and put the 3 bolts. If you have the 4 bolts, put the 4 bolts in. I'm going to be putting a new cabin filter and put the cover on, start her up, reset the light, and you're good to go.